Clearly both fine keepers. First of all, is there much between them?
On current form, yes, there is. I think De Gea's above Courtois and would probably be the standout selection if the Real Madrid wanted him, but it'll take a lot of money to prize him away from Man United.
For you?
There isn't that much for me, but De Gea's... I'm looking at, is there a better goalkeeper in the world than him at this present moment?
Ooh.
I'm not too sure.
No.
Look, I've rated him. I've probably rated him even, higher since when he first came to Manchester United, and it didn't go too well.
No.
After being one of the golden boy of, Atletico Madrid, being a star coming into the game, he could have folded then. Even at a great club like Manchester United, with the expectations ridiculously high, I seen his mental side to his game.
Especially coming to places like Stoke, Rory Delap was just launching throws and every set plays were on him. Yeah, he made a few bad mistakes, but he recovered from that and he's become...
And it's due to that period for me.
Yeah.
He's the real deal. He's Madrid. I've always felt that Real Madrid have been looking for him to be their number one for a number of years, and it's just a matter of time before they get him.
Where else is it, if you think he's the better of the two, where else do you think he's superior? Footwork?
His footwork's brilliant. I remember working with...
So agile.
Yeah.
His agility is unbelievable. Some of the saves, we played them earlier in the season and he's just plucking them at the top corners, and holding them, not just parrying them around the post, holding it, and he's not the biggest, but the presence he's got on that pitch is phenomenal. Courtois is a top keeper, but
he anticipates as well. He can read forwards. If you watch, a lot of his saves as well, so he makes a lot of his feet.
The reactions are unbelievable.
It's incredible. And just like I said, it's just the way he anticipates where the forward's going to go as well. He reads it. Cover an angle that much, but he's only showing you one way. You've got to be really clever then to reverse it, and he asks the forward so many questions when you're gunning down on him that he's a real top goalkeeper.
I mean, you get your analysis on the opposition, strengths and weaknesses. I can't imagine there's much in the dossier on either of those two in terms of weaknesses.
No, there's not. There's not much between both teams really, because they're the top clubs, and but it's one of these things that it will take a lot of money to get him out of Man United, but it looks like every summer they seem to be coming for one or two. But I think there's more chance Courtois going to Real than there is De Gea.
Because of the money?
I think family reasons as well. I think he's got family back in Madrid.
I think his partner is there, and I think he has a child there as well.
So that maybe want to go back there, but it's a difficult situation. They don't know the ins and outs of it, but if they are the two, then they can't go far wrong.
The other thing as well, you talk about potentially a figure up towards the 100 million.
I'd be wanting 150 at least.
Is it really? Is that only right? If you're going to get a goalkeeper who will do at least 5 years and be part of the backbone, the spine of the team, they're worth that. They're worth the same sort of money as strikers.
Yeah, of course they are. Of course they are.
Because traditionally they haven't been, have they? You don't get as much.
No, you've always paid for strikers really. Who can win you games? Who can score you the goals? Because that's basically how you win games. They're the highest paid. The highest fees are commanded from those type of players. But no, I agree with what Madrid have been lacking. Even though they've done well I say they've done well. That's a complete understatement. They've been incredible. 2 European Cups in a row is more than doing well.
Struggling at the moment though. So it looks like a rebuild is on the card. 19 points behind.
Yeah, and it's usually, listen, every top club has a rebuild, and it's probably been a little bit more overdue than Madrid because obviously the success they've had in the Champions League. But I see De Gea being a huge part of that, and Real Madrid do spend money. They always have. Then they have, they've been quiet over the last few years. So probably due to the fact that it's going to take a huge fee to try and prize him away from Manchester United. I'd be shocked if he did
that big Galactico signing again, aren't they? Back in the day.
They'd be back.
Would you be nervous if you were an owner or even a fan of a Premier League club? Because if they're going to have a rebuild, who else in the Premier League might they come looking for? I mean, they could be looking for a manager, could be looking for a striker, and all sorts.
Hazard. He's the next one.
Yeah.
Because he's their type of player?
He's their type of player.
And it'd probably be easier to get him out than to get Harry Kane out of Tottenham. That's it. It'll be a lot of money to get.
Do you believe Hazard's better than Harry Kane?
They're totally different players, but I think it'll be easier for Madrid to get Hazard there than they will Harry Kane there. Daniel will obviously want excess of 200 million. And what will you spend on Hazard? 150 maybe, 160. So it's going to be a lot of money, but I think on a personal level, I think it'll be easier to get Hazard out because of different form mentality, and Harry Kane will probably like to stay at Tottenham as long as he can without moving. But when Real Madrid come calling, it's going to be difficult for any player.
Well, the other thing as well, Tottenham, can they really afford to lose Harry Kane the year that they go into a new stadium, or indeed lose Mauricio Pochettino?
If I'm Daniel Levy right now, he is not going anywhere.
No.
He's you cannot afford to lose this player because he's come through your youth system. All the good stuff that's gone on with Tottenham over the last few years, the momentum they've gained, he's been a huge part of that, along with the manager.
Yeah.
He is staying at this football club no matter what, especially with a new stadium coming. I can lose. I'll lose 3 or 4 elsewhere. I don't care. I am not losing this player.
I think
he means
he's their number one.
Too much to the supporters and too much to that football club in general.
I think they would probably rather sell Dele Alli, Ericsson, Alderweireld.
The rest are a long way behind.
I would probably say, yeah, they'd rather sell their type of players than Harry Kane.
Just what he represents, what he represents for that football club. You
and in fairness to Harry Kane, he's such a consummate pro. He makes all the right noises. He gets asked this question all the time, and he talks about how he's happy at Spurs. Look, you never know what happens in the future.
Yeah.
He doesn't add any fuel to the fire whatsoever, does he? He absolutely is. He's a dream for Tottenham right now.
But also, what I would say with keeping him. What's hugely important, especially for Daniel as well, is he has to pay him like the other players are getting paid elsewhere. Will he do that? That's always been a problem for him. It's always been a problem for Spurs. They've been a little bit more flexible with the wages than they were in recent years. But if I want him to stay at this football club, I want him to be the pin-up of what we represent. I'm going to have to give him exactly what Real Madrid would give him.
He's the best English player at the moment, isn't he? He's the golden boy at the moment. And if I was Tottenham, and Daniel would have to open his budget up and say, listen, whatever they want, whatever you want, you can have. And it's very, very difficult for a club to say that, but it must be an open checkbook for them to keep Harry Kane at Tottenham.